Welcome back to the newest edition of Ryanology. I'm your host, Ryanology, and thank you for tuning in. On this episode, I'm very fortunate to have an interview with our new principal, Mr. Ryan Shea, talking about the new policies and some other events for the school year. Please stay tuned and enjoy. Welcome back. Today on the show, I have former assistant principal and current principal, Mr. Ryan Shea. How are you?
I'm great. I'm getting excited, ready for the school year to begin.
Yeah, and I wanted to kind of bring you on the show today to kind of talk about the new school year, transitioning in, and talk about the new policies that we have coming in.
Absolutely.
So if you want to just start us off, principal's message first start of the school year.
Yeah, we're really excited. We've done a lot of work this summer. We've had a lot of people in and out of the building, really kind of modeling and designing what our school year will look like. Obviously, we know that we can't anticipate everything, but what we're trying to do is set a school where the motto of quality education for all is exemplified, and really working towards the motto of One Dartmouth, and everyone on the same page, students, faculty, and anyone that walks in this building is a part of our Dartmouth community, and that's been our real focus this year.
Yeah, and especially since COVID and everything happening, I felt personally, and most of the community, there's kind of been a disconnect, We see with schools, with parents, families, students, but obviously coming in during the summer, taking a look at what we're doing, we are getting towards that one Dartmouth, that one kind of whole family.
Yes.
Yeah. So what are some of the new policies that we'll be seeing in the school year?
Well, we all know the big one, right? Let's just address the elephant in the room, right? So we aren't even changing the real policy of cell phones. We are looking at our cell phone policy and seeing what's best for students. So as we've seen on social media and in the papers and everything, we are taking cell phones really seriously this year. And the reason why we're taking the cell phones really seriously is many aspects of it. We know the mental health components of cell phones and the negative aspects of it. We also know the loss of learning that we see. Studies have shown that there is no difference if you're holding a cell phone in front of you or if the cell phone's down on your table. You're still disengaged to that phone and you're focused on that phone. And when we talk about a quality education for all, we're talking about great learning and what our amazing staff and students can do together to really ensure that we're getting the best education we possibly can. So when you leave Dartmouth High School, you have a diploma that is extremely valuable. When you leave Dartmouth High School, you know that you've gotten an amazing education, amazing opportunities. So students will come in. They will come into their classrooms. They're hanging the cell phone hotels today to drop your cell phone in the spot. We're going to include AirPods on that as well. And the main reason why is that we don't want distracted learning. We need to be an institution of learning. That's why we're paid by the taxpayers. That's why we're paid by the town, is to give the best education. Dartmouth High School is the heartbeat of Dartmouth, right? How well the band does is how well the community feels. How well the athletic programs do is how well the community feels. How well our school does in general academically. It really represents our community, and that's really important to our community. There's a lot of Dartmouth pride in this community. As I've taken over this position, I can't tell you how many people have reached out and said, we are so excited that someone from Dartmouth is here to represent us and support the school and really look for that forward thinking and really make Dartmouth High School that excellent place it can be. And I'm not saying it wasn't. I'm saying that COVID changed a lot of things that we have done in the past. COVID set us up in situations that we needed to be doing remote learning, and we needed to have more technology in front of us. But if you remember, prior to the pandemic, and most of our students now were either middle school or elementary school, that we were doing project-based learning, we were doing engaging lessons, we were doing group work. You can't do a group work in front of a phone. You can't be working on other projects while you're distracted by your phone. We want to make sure that our students understand that this is a choice we made because we care about our students. We also know there's a mental health aspect of it too. We know that the rise of iPhones is a 65% increase of female suicides in the years of the iPhones, and social media have risen. To me, that says there's something correlated here, and that makes me nervous. So I have to do what's best for our student body. I know people aren't super excited about it, but we also know that people do feel that there is some addiction to it, and we want to make sure that our students understand that.
Yeah, and there also is consequences set in place for students that choose not to follow the policy. Obviously, the big one being the 5-minute after school, and the ones following, meeting with parents and such.
Yeah.
But how would you say that these consequences are going to curb the students from not doing this again?
Well, consequences are designed to change behavior. So if we're not seeing a behavior change, we're going to go back to the drawing board too. But really, and I want to be clear, that 5-minute consequence at the first offense per incident with that teacher is really a conversation to say, you know why, this is a distraction to you. It's that reflective practice. You know, this has impacted you A, B, and C. This is our concern. This is why we have the policy. This is what we need you to understand. That is, so you're not late for your bus, you're not late for sports, you're not late for band, you're not late for a club or activity. It is a engaging conversation we want teachers to have with their students. After that, if that 5-minute conversation doesn't work, then we step it up, right? That's a 30-minute after session, okay? Now there's an impact, right? You might not make your bus if you're a first wave. Second wave, you could if you're really quick and you can get it in, but you might not, you know? Some of our buses don't get here until 2:45, so there might be a chance that you can make it. But it's really designed to say, okay, this impasses me a little bit more. We hope we don't get to that. We hope that everyone follows the expectations from day one. In an ideal world, there might be a distraction or whatever, but we design things to hopefully change behavior. And again, with the focus on we're supporting our student body.
And that's the main focus, not only of the administrators, but of the staff as well. You know, you want to see these kids learning in a classroom. And as you said, and I completely agree with, the diploma it's a valuable piece of paper. Yeah. You know, you're not just walking out taking it, you know, waving it through the air.
Exactly.
But yeah, it's the truth.
It's 13 years of grinding, right? Your diploma, I always say the most important day is graduation day. High school graduation day, because that's 13 years of your hard work, blood, sweat, tears, late nights, early mornings, everything you've put together is that day encompassing. And when you look at the value of a Dartmouth high school diploma, that's different than I think anywhere else in my mind.
Absolutely. And are there any other policies that we'll be seeing this upcoming school year?
No, we're gonna, there are tweaks to policies. We're really gonna focus on attendance and tardies as well, you know. We had a tough year, I'm not gonna lie, with attendance and tardies. It was hard to come back sometimes, and I get that, and we're gonna use our social work staff to support students that are struggling in those aspects of it. But we are expecting students to be here on time and be ready to learn, you know. Class starts at 7:30, you're in your seat, right? That's the expectation, and we really want that expectation to be followed, because you look at it in teachers' lens, they spend hours planning lessons, and a student walks in, and then 2 minutes later another student walks in, and then 2 minutes later another student walks in, and every time they do that, there's a stop in the lesson. And now the teachers feel 5 minutes behind, 10 minutes behind, and the peers sitting in the classroom feel, I just heard that, now I have to rehear that. I just heard that, now I have to rehear that, right? So for everyone, it's designed to make the lesson in the classroom as smooth as possible. Again, we want engaging learning, right? If your partner is 10 minutes late every day, that puts more on you. Right? If you're working in a situation where you need more time, you've lost 5 minutes, you've lost 10 minutes by being late. So we're really going to put a big focus on it, and we're going to be working with families and social work support and our whole team of people to support our students that are having a hard time coming in on time.
And as well as that, you know, you want to try your best to, as you said, the quality of education, keep pushing that. And it's a big thing, obviously, this school year.
Yeah.
But to go along with that, students come in the building, you know, you are going to have, you know, the tardies, the absence and such, but will there be more of a consequence? Because we did have the plan set up, you know, in the office, there's the paper saying that. But would you say going through the school year, quarter 1, 2, 3, that there's going to be more of consequences for those students who are habitually tardy? And late?
Yeah, and we're giving more support because in the AP role, it was really hard to follow through with some of those tardies, and I'll be the first one to admit that. So we are trying to give more support to our students and I mean to our administration staff to have those conversations with the students about it. And again, I truly believe in consequences are designed to change behavior. So if it's just a punitive consequence, that's not going to change behavior. If there's a conversation and a reflection and a thought process on it, that's when you're going to see behavior change, and that's going to be our focus on it. Is how we will hold the policy as written. And there is social suspension there, but there's also going to be held after school and supports for multiple absences. Just like it's written, we're going to follow through with it this year. And again, if it's habitual, we're going to work with the families because there's something going on. And again, being one Dartmouth means one community, one everything. So that means that our stakeholders are also families, and our stakeholders are students and faculty, and anyone in the community that wants to support us. We're here to listen and help you grow and be a part of the conversation.
And coming out of that COVID era, it's especially important as well. And talking about COVID, some of the COVID policies, including the retake policy, will that be following us in the 2022 to 2023 school year?
We're going to be announcing the tweaks to the retake policy. There's going to be a little bit more of teacher independence currently on it, and really looking at the scenario-based situation again. What's best for students is kind of be our motto, and focusing on that is whatever situation works with our students. We know there's a lot of confusion with it last year. We know there was gray in it, and gray leads to frustration. Gray leads to one situation versus the other situation. So we're trying to make it clearer for everyone and understanding the process of that. We're hoping that students, by not engaging, or students by being focused on their phone, not focused on their phone, will be able to understand that there is a need for a ability to make up, but there also might be more understanding that maybe less makeups, because we are there the first time ready to go and hopefully have success right away. But that means we all have bad days too, and sometimes you have a bad day, and sometimes you're not ready for it. We're going to support somehow in that way as well.
So it's definitely all these policies, you want the students to know it's not against the students, it's for the students. It's for the quality of education, to help out the teachers, help out the students in the long end.
Yeah, I hope the student body after just 1 year understands who I am as a person, and understands that I truly genuinely care about every student. I truly genuinely want our students to be successful. I truly want our students to have the best possible high school experience, and that comes from a place of how can I be your biggest support, and that's Mr. Martin, that's Mr. Coogan, that's Ms. Charvier, that's Mr. Silver. That's the admin team's philosophy: is what are we doing to make sure that our students are the most successful they can be. That's also the same from the teachers. A lot of our teachers gave up mornings in the summer to come in and look at all of what's best for student learning. And that was always the conversation we started with. What is best for the students of Dartmouth High School? And what is best for our community?
Yeah, and with the teachers coming in over the summer, it's not just administration and then teachers, it's everybody working together, one Dartmouth. So that's really the goal of this school year.
Right. I'm a teacher first. I'll always be a teacher first. I love teaching. I kind of keep getting shifted into different roles, but I always take it from a teacher's lens, and I love teaching, and it's a passion of mine. So I understand what the student body is going through. I understand what the teachers are going through, and I think that's the focus that we're going to continue to have, is that from that lens of the faculty in this building, including administration all the way down to anyone that walks in this building. The morning crossing guards are part of our community, right? They make it safe for us to come in here. The people that the security team, right? It's not designed for punitive, it's designed for safety. It's designed to be right there for our student body. Again, one Dartmouth, one Dartmouth, one Dartmouth.
Absolutely. And honestly, it's looking at it from a positive viewpoint. Instead of students taking it as negative consequences, 5 minutes, it's, these things are designed for the negatives. We're trying to bring it to the positive. Yes. In the end, it's for the students.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right. And to kind of move away from the policy talking, what are your some goals for this upcoming school year?
My number one goal for this school year is really working on students being a part of the school more than 203. You know, I know a lot of our students work after school. I know a lot of our students do activities. You have 120 in the band. There was 400 kids that came out for fall sports, but we can do better than that too. You know, that's about 60% of our community. I want to get that number up, you know. Shea Talk last year was designed to get more students involved in clubs and activities because I believe in it and it's essential to me. And if there's not a club and activity that matches our student body, come see us. Find 10 friends, we'll find you a faculty advisor. That's what we will do for you, because if there's something you're interested in, we want exposure to it. We want you to feel connected to this building. I would love, at the end of the school year, every student feels I was connected to someone in this building and I have some passion about what I'm doing. And that's what's going to change a culture in a building.
And would you say that you're going to try to, you know, with students coming in, introduce some new clubs so that you can have that number go up?
Yeah, if a student has an idea for a club, we're listening. Get me 10 friends, get 10 friends to sign up for it, and we will find a way to make it work. You know, we will find advisors, we will find support to make it work. We have an amazing faculty here, we really do. And last year, anytime a student wanted to start a club, as soon as I said you need an advisor, like, I know someone that'll do it, and the teachers automatically were there to support. So yeah, if you have an idea, we're here to listen. We are here to support. We want you to feel connected to our building. Absolutely.
It's a wonderful thing. And now to move towards the seniors.
Yes.
What are your goals for these students that are finally moving out in their last year, senior events going forward as well?
Yeah, that's a great question, Ryan. I love the senior body. I love the senior class. I love the seniors. The excitement from day one to the last day of school, right? You know, you start with the prep rally, and I get goosebumps even thinking about how fun that is, right? So you want to have a fun superlative dance, a fun prep rally, some really lots of activities in between. I want our seniors to have, when they leave here, any door that they want open to be open. And sometimes that's, we get on you about your grades, and we get on you about a bunch of other things, but again, that all comes from an empathetic place of, like, we care about you. You are one of us. You're part of that one Dartmouth family. I want an amazing senior prom. You guys had a great junior prom last year. I had so much fun at it. I still think I have a picture of us in my office to this day. We have those events because we want to celebrate them. And senior week is going to be so fun, engaging, but I want our seniors to leave and just say, I feel connected to Dartmouth High. And maybe in 5 years from now, when they graduate from college, or 5 years from now when people are out in the workforce, and they just want to come back and say, give back to a little bit of Dartmouth, like with time or however they want to say, we want people to say, that was my school and I'm proud and I'd love to do anything to support it, because that's how I feel.
Yeah, and obviously, you know, from listening to all this, we're trying to move towards one Dartmouth. If you were a student, if you are a student, if you're going to be a student, you're always going to be connected.
Yep.
Obviously, learning about the town having new grants and how they want to do different events around town, we'd be able to do something like that, connecting the high school. I know back in the day they used to do like a Dartmouth Day around town, you know, and we had like the field set up, and it, you know, it used to be one big event for everyone. Right. Setting that up so we're finally like one connected community.
Absolutely. And if people have ideas like that, I'm here to listen. I'm here to support any of those ideas. I'm going to work a lot with the student council this year. I'm going to support them in what their ideas are, how we can enact things, and how we can make things work. I'm always going to listen, and if we can do it if we can do it, we're going to do it. You know, we want to make sure it's safe and responsible and engaging and for a positive outcome. We can meet those criteria, we'll find a way. We really will. And like you said, there are grants for a lot of things. There's a lot of support out there for students. Coming out of COVID, people, sadly, we look at it at a sad lens, right? It was a hard 2.5 years. I don't think anyone's going to say it was easy, right? What I do think is that we are going to make it so we really understand that and we move forward with that, with that understanding. But we also look at it as now this is a positive spin on it, a positive culture and a positive environment that I didn't have those negative feelings. You know, coming to school, it was a quieter place during COVID because of masks and because of half the school was here and no one was here, and there wasn't a hum of a building, and a school needs that hum, and we want to bring that back.
And I just have to say, also, you know, it's definitely refreshing having, you know, someone who's, you know, born into the Dartmouth community, just so like lively and willing to like do pretty much anything, you know, just for the students and for the staff.
Yeah, you got it. You know, I keep on coming back. The high school is a heartbeat of any community, right? So if we can be a strong heartbeat for the town of Dartmouth, that speaks volumes to the community, right? There's a lot that means, and there's a lot that impacts, but the more responsibility we put on our students, and they can create positive events and positive culture and positive aspects of the school, the better everyone feels. And that's what I care about, you know? Maybe it's the former special ed teacher in me, maybe it's just who I am, but if you come from a positive environment, you come from an empathetic lens, that creates an environment that people want to be at. If you really focus on kindness, that's going to be the aspect. And can I just say one more thing?
Sure.
For our student body out there, I told the mentors this the other day, and I genuinely mean it. If you hear something, see something that doesn't seem right or comes off mean, it's racist, homophobic, sexist, any aspect of it is, the simple solution is you walk by the student and say, we don't do that here at Dartmouth, and you just keep walking, right? We change the culture of the community by those people, because if we don't address it, and just by saying we don't do that here at Dartmouth, that's not mean, that's not unkind. It doesn't have to be more than that. You just say, hey, we don't do that here at Dartmouth, and you keep walking. That sets the standard for Dartmouth, is that's not okay. And that's what we're trying to push forward. We're trying to push forward that everyone in this building feels comfortable, safe, respected, valued. And it's easy to address in a way of saying, hey, that's not Dartmouth High. We don't do that here. That starts with the student body. That's what changes culture. That's how we address it. It's a 10-second word, and you just keep moving.
It's leading by example. It's pushing students to interact with other students, interact with teachers, and just become better people.
That's it. Yeah. I care about how students do academically, but I also really care about where they are socially and emotionally, and that is respected and valued. And again, that is just quickly addressing things that don't seem appropriate in this school. And again, you don't do it in a mean way, you don't do it in a confrontational way, you don't do it in an aggressive way, but you just say, that's not Dartmouth High. We don't do that here. That sets the standard for Dartmouth High. We are better than that, you know? I used to, in my middle school, tell all the students, be the best version of yourself every day, right? Whatever you have, if you have 5% of you give that best 5% today. Whatever it is, you didn't sleep last night for whatever reason, you have that, you still be that best version. It's what if your grandmother or your grandpa or your sister or brother is in the room, how would you act? What is the role model that you want to be? And keep thinking that they're there. Keep imagining that they're there, because that is what is beautiful about like human nature is that we all want to be good. Sometimes we just need to remember our audience.
Absolutely. And I'd like to thank you for coming on the show today, Mr. Shea. Obviously, setting new goals for the school year, talking about the new school year, it's refreshing. And students, if you ever have the need to talk or report something, Mr. Shea's door is wide open.
Yeah. And Ryan, I want to thank you for doing this show. I love your show every week. It's such a, I encourage our students to watch all of what the TV media put out. It's so phenomenal. The studio is second to none. You know, the opportunities here are second to none. Be a part of this. Watch the shows. Enjoy the conversations. We're going to do everything we can to support your show and all the other shows that you guys put out, because this is special. This is not every high school has these incredible studios and the growth of this studio, or you don't have a Mr. Parati. There's not many people out there like that. So we're fortunate. We're really lucky. And thank you, Ryan.
Thank you once again. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of Ryanology. I'd like to send a big thank you and a huge shout out to our new principal, Mr. Ryan Shea, for his welcomingness to the new school year, as well as his ability to speak with me. I also want to let the students of the Dartmouth High School know that Mr. Shea is a wealth of knowledge, and he will be willing to help you at any point in time. Stay tuned for our next episode, where I will be speaking with our new assistant principal here at the Dartmouth High School. Thank you.